Hi, I'm Linda from paperboutique.blogspot.com. In part one of this two-part series, I discussed glue guns and the new glue gun helpers from Plaid. Today we're going to be making some cute accents out of hot glue, and we're going to use a stamp to stamp into hot glue. We're also going to use hot glue in some molds to make some accents, and we're also going to do little pearls and centers just using hot glue. Well, before we get started doing that, I want to do a quick review. There are really two types of glue guns. There's the high temp and the low temp glue guns. The other main difference is in the nozzle type, and this one I'll pick up. It's hot, so I don't want glue to ooze out, but this is a wider nozzle, and then this particular one, and I also have glue drip out of it, but it is my favorite glue gun, and that's the nozzle, the finer tip nozzle, and that's why I love this glue gun. And to learn all about them, please go ahead and watch the first part of this series. Well, high temp glue is used for wood, glass, and metal magnets. You can also use it on paper, and I'll show you something that you can't use it on in a minute that I learned the hard way. The low temp is used on foam, fabric, silk flowers, paper, ribbon, beads, and working with molds, which we're going to be doing in just a couple of minutes. Well, first I want to show you how to make any stamp work as an accent using a glue gun. Let me move this out of the way. What you're going to need, and this is what we're going to be doing, is a Versamark pad, and this is a well-used Versamark ink pad, and then any stamp. You definitely want to use low temp glue for this particular project. I'm going to ink this up using my Versamark pad so you get a nice coating so it doesn't stick. I'm going to take it off of my block. This block is super heavy and it will really sink in, and I don't want it to sink in that much. And what I'm using are these fun glue. These are low temp glue sticks, and they're from Imaginess, and they're just super fun. And I think I've got this one in my glue gun, but you can see. And you can also get, this is a full-size glue stick for a full-size glue gun, and it's in black, which is also super fun. Well, we've inked this up. Let me bring over my low temp glue gun, and I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm just going to make a nice, it depends on what size accent you want. And I'll put that back in the holder. And then the good thing is I'm using low temp, and then you're just going to push it in. And like I said, you can experiment. This one I did a little bit bigger, and this one I did a little smaller. And what I did is I just used stickles to kind of fill in so you can see it. And I'm not sure the camera's picking this up. I hope it is. And all I would do is just use a little stickles in each one of the cavities. And I'm not going to take your time to do it all. I wanted to do blue so you could see it, and then I'd finish and fill it in. I'm going to use this one, I think, as on a bow, for the center of a bow. And then what I normally do is let this really cool. I'm hoping if it sticks a little bit, it's only because I didn't let it cool. So let's see if I can get it to peel out. Yeah, it's a little sticky, but now I'm going to just let that sit, and it'll harden, and then I'll probably put, I don't know, I kind of like the contrast. I think I might use the stickle, but you can see here I pulled up a little. Just let it sit until it's really, really cool. Now I want to show you, let me bring these in. These are some of the just hot glue in molds. And this is where I learned the hard way. Do not use high temp glue on this project. This is a particular mold that I bought to use air dry clay in, and I love it. And this was one of my favorite flowers. And as you can see, what I did is I used hot glue in there, and will not come out, and it melted the entire mold. It used to be like this one, but only a little smaller. So what you're going to do when you're actually using this is you're going to, I'm not going to do it. You're going to bring in, use your low temp, and then just fill it up, and you can just work it around. What I haven't had any problem with it sticking when I use the low temp, but you can add like a little bit of cooking oil or Pam or spray your mold just to be sure, and then fill it with the cool glue. You could use, you know, the fancy glue sticks or just the plain, and I'll show you in a minute. One of these I used the black on. Let it cool, and then it really does pop out. And then what I did is I took a brush and some Perfect Pearls, and I just brushed it on. And you could set it with water if you wanted to, or you could set it with a sealant. I found that it really doesn't rub off of the glue stick or the glue material, so you don't really, I don't think you need to set it, but if you want to, you could mist it a little bit with water. And then what I also did, these are I used the same color Perfect Pearls, and this particular one is out of, these both are out of the black glue sticks, which just kind of give it a fun little detail, and I really, really like it. Well, let's talk about probably my favorite technique. Let's see if I can remove that. This, by the way, is part of that glue gun helpers from Plaid, and I am loving it. I'm going to slide my low temp gun off to the side here so it doesn't get in the way while I show you the next project. I want to do a special shout out to DE Stamper Joe for this idea. I saw a video on YouTube with this technique, and I've made a couple minor modifications to it, and I love it. You can make your own pearls that you can just put on your cards. It's just super, super fun. And let me show you how to do that, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. And here's where I've been practicing, and the more you practice, this is just another, you could do it right on this mat. The more you practice, the more you can get, I don't know if you can see that, just really tiny pearls, or you can make them different sizes. Let me kind of show you here. I made some of the, not this particular batch, but before, using the cool glue gun, and it just doesn't seem to be as easy. I like using this one on high temp. It's AdTech 2 temperature, and I got this at Walmart, and it has a finer nozzle, and it just makes it easier to control. And it does take a little bit of practice, but what you're going to want to do, I'll move that out of the way, is hold it straight up, and I'm hoping that you can see, and just push a little bit of glue out, and then just do it in a circle, kind of like in a circle, and twirl it. And then as you can see, as it sets, it will become almost perfectly round. And then you're gonna let it set up, and I'll bring these back. And I love the idea of making it bigger, so you could put it in the center of a flower or something. And I want to show you a couple things I did a little differently. You can go ahead and color them using any of the Sharpies, and you kind of get a clearer look. This one's using the black glue gun. This particular one is using a Pearlax light blue. This is or Perfect Pearl light blue. This is more of the russet color. But a couple of other suggestions is, when you're doing it, make sure that you haven't removed it from your paper, or in this case from the mat, and then just go ahead and brush over it with your Perfect Pearls or Pearlax, and go ahead and just paint it with your Sharpie. But I discovered something even a little bit more fun, and I'm going to show you that. I think all of us have tons of nail polish that we maybe aren't using, or our children have nail polish. This particular one is when I had a pedicure, and I've really never used this color, and I thought, I bet nail polish would work on these. And believe it or not, it sticks perfectly, and this one's done with nail polish. The trick is, I did like 2 coats, and I kind of let it dry in between, and I'm just going to show you. And if you just want, look at that, it's just a real sheer coverage. It almost looks clear, and you can see here, that might even be 3 coats. I let it dry, and you just get a really pretty, and you could use any nail polish. And the nice, let's see if I can go ahead and do 2 coats, and keep in mind it's not dry. And the nice thing about these mats is once the nail polish dries, you can just scrape it off and go ahead and move your pearl. Well, what do you do once you have the pearls? How do you attach them? Because they're so, some of them I made, well, you can see here, I don't know if you can see that, that one is super, they're super tiny. Well, I found the perfect product. I'm dropping these here, let me move these over. I bought, let's see if I can find them now. They're glue dots, but they're the micro, and I don't know if you've seen them. They're actually designed for tiny beads and rhinestones, and let me show you how small they are. I am hoping that the camera can see that. So what you do is just go ahead and pick it up and put it right on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do several and then just tear, you know, leave it on the strip to store it that way, or you can just put them in a bag, and when you want to use them, just put them on there. Well, I would like to thank you for watching, and if you have a chance, take a look at part 1 of this 2-part series, and also I'd love to have you visit my blog at paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.